want, and you can't do anything about it. So I'll be back in the United States, which is 10,000 miles from here, so I'm being completely honest. The amount of effort that previous generations of Australians went into building this country is just shocking to me. First of all, I had no idea Australia was so rich in the 19th century. Wool apparently was a really good business, wool and gold, note to self. But they didn't just take the money and build private villas. They spent a huge percentage of it on public works and built these remarkable, again, coming from a country with decayed cities, and I went out to Perth, and of course everyone on the East Coast makes fun of Perth relentlessly, but in a very sort of dry, passive-aggressive Australian way. And I don't know anything about it, it's not my world, so I'm like, I'm going to Perth tomorrow, what's that like? Oh, well, it's far away. What does that mean? What? It means we don't like Perth. So I was not expecting much, and I was shocked by it. It was like a San Francisco without the junkies. It was like one of the prettiest places I've ever been. And I feel that way about all of your cities. So, somebody spent a lot of years and a lot of money and a lot of back-breaking effort to build what you have now. And it's just remarkable, but rather than being proud of it, the people who run your country are telling you you should be ashamed of it and that it doesn't belong to you. You have no claim to it at all. So the conventional understanding of this is, well, this is just what it is to be guilty. You're in a prosperous country and you feel guilty. But that's not actually what it's about. Because making people feel guilty doesn't help anybody, right? No. They're telling you it's not your country so that they can take it away from you and you won't resist when they do. Because it doesn't belong to you in the first place. And if there's one message that I hope I could pass on, and by the way, I feel a little guilty lecturing you about your country since I've been here 2 weeks and I know nothing, and there's nothing worse than a foreigner lecturing you about your own country. Well, I'm thinking through the hostility I feel when Bono comes to my country and starts lecturing me. Go back to Dublin or whatever, you know what I mean? Please leave, foreigner. So I don't want to be that preachy person at all. I'm saying this with respect, but with actual concern. I'm telling you, anyone who tells you this is not your country will take it away from you and plans to do that. And they do plan to do that. That's super obvious to me. It's really obvious to me. And this is not an attack on, any other country. By the way, I know you all are completely paranoid about China. And you have every reason to be. I don't fault the Chinese for that. If I were the Chinese, the first thing I would do is take over Australia. It's the first thing I would do. I've got a country of 1.4 billion that's crowded with not enough natural resources, and not that far away is an entire continent with 26 million people. It's got more resources than it could ever use. I'd take over that country immediately.